And I really got to watch my language with this one because today I'm going to be telling a story of how I almost unalived somebody. I almost took someone's life, right? I almost expired someone. So this is going to be a good one. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. Podcast number 187. And this is a good one. And the topic for tonight is, male aggression. And is it really a problem? And the question posed to, the people that are on the opposing side is, why do women want feminine men? And the reason why I ask that question is every time a man does something that is indicative of testosterone or does something that is indicative of being a man, he is shamed for it. Things like, oh, that's misogynistic. What's good, Russ? Um, or if a man likes a lot of women, or he is horny all the time, he's a man whore. Or if a man wants a submissive woman, he's misogynistic. If a man's super aggressive and a man doesn't cry and a man's always wants to fight and a man's like loud, that is toxic masculinity, right? Men are being condemned for doing things that are indicative of being a man. And where I can say is some men do some things that are not healthy all the time, right? I can admit that some men do things that are not healthy all the time, but everything that men do are not is not toxic. It is not toxic, and it is not something that should be condemned. Now, things that should be condemned, I will tell you. And I will tell you a personal story. A personal story how I was young. I was 19. This was maybe about 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, maybe. And this is the story how I almost unalived somebody. I almost expired somebody. And this is the type of male aggression that necessarily shouldn't be wanted, but a lot of the times we do see women choose the same kind of men. They like gangsters or a man who's a thug. He don't play about you, but that's a whole nother topic. But let's get into the story and then I'll elaborate. So I was 19 years old, right? And I didn't get my first job. I never worked a job until the age of 19. Why? Because I was always going around the country boxing. Like I had 100 and something amateur boxing matches. So I didn't get a job until I was about maybe 19. And I remember my first job, I was a model at Hollister. I used to model at Hollister and I worked in store, like in the front, sometimes on the cash register, sometimes in the front of the store. And 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 I remember my second job was in the mall, and I simultaneously I was working both jobs. My second job was in the mall, and I did this. I worked at some stand in the mall, right? I didn't care what I did. I was like, I'm gonna make money, and I'm a hard worker in general. But I was like, what? I'll work 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs. I don't give a flying f. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna keep money in my pockets always. So I get the job. And it's like it was like one of those things. Remember, it was a while back, and they had those little rubber bracelets, and it was like to keep your balance. Like if you put it, it would help you keep your balance and balance your stability. It was like a whole bullshit, like with a placebo effect. And so the story goes, I get the job, and I'm working at the job for a while. We had a stand, and sometimes you will have to close down the stand. I don't think I was ever responsible for closing down the stand, but was working a job for maybe about a few weeks, maybe a month. And apparently somebody stole from the job. Like somebody went in the cash register and stole the money. And what the manager did, he thought it was a bright idea to threaten, I guess, employees that were working there. And he basically accused me of stealing. Now, I'm not saying it because I was black. I'm not making any of that excuses, but it's funny. He was Jewish, though. The manager was Jewish. And so what happened was I was like, he texted me. He was like, hey, there's some money that went missing. Do you know what happened? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know what happened. I didn't steal any money. I didn't steal anything. And he proceeded to call me a liar. He proceeded to say that I was lying about certain things, and he's saying, you know what, you lying, you know, you stole the money. But where he went wrong was, and this is where his life got threatened, and this is where, you know, where I decided to bring in, you know, like this is where I decided to get the arm and hammer, so to say, right? So he threatened me, and not only did he threaten me, he said, I'm gonna unalive you, right? He said, I'm gonna expire you, and then I'm gonna come to your house and expire your whole family. And this is all because somebody stole, and he's just accusing me of it. For some reason, he was so determined that I did it. For so determined that I did it. And I actually didn't. If I stole, I would tell I stole, but I'm not a kleptomaniac. I'm not a fucking thief. I just don't go around stealing, especially for people who employ me. What type of gratitude would I be showing? You give me a job and I'm going to steal from you? Absolutely not. That's not the type of person that I am. So the guy begins to threaten me and my family. He says, you know what? I have your address because you applied for the job and I know where you live. And mind you, I'm 19 years old. And this is me just being a man, just being aggressive. I was maybe 19, 20. I think I was 19. And I said, you know what? And then I have this thing where I keep a lot of things to myself. And I've always had this mentality. And I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my dad. And mind you, my parents were in law enforcement. We have a house full of weapons. We have a house full of weapons. And in my head, I said, okay, you're going to threaten me and my family. And I thought this was going to go down tonight. And me, I've always been a little ambitious. So I always go above and beyond. So I said, okay, you're going to threaten me and my family? I was like, all right, we can handle this myself. You don't have to get my family involved. I said, meet me at the mall in the parking lot. He said, okay. And me thinking that he was really going to meet me. So what I did was I went in my father's lockbox. I got his, I got his arm and hammer, so to say, right? The pistola. And I put it in my book bag. So, I remember at the time I had a Honda Civic. I had a blue Honda Civic coupe, right? And I'm getting in the car and I'm about to head to the mall. And I didn't live far from the mall at that time. So I was like maybe 10 or 12 minutes away. And I remember hitting on my boy Mo. And I said, bro, I said, I'm about to go unalive somebody. He said, you capping. He didn't say you capping because capping wasn't a word then, but he basically said you're lying. And I said, I'm not, I'm dead serious. I got it on me. He was like, come pick me up. I was like, all right, bet. So I go to his house. I pick him up. He said, where it at? I said, it's right there in the bag. He took a look at it. He was like, you dead serious? I'm like, I'm dead serious. He said, take me with you. Why he wanted to, and this is going to show you how stupid we were. Because I think about this back on this now. It was so stupid. And he said, take me with you. So knowing that I had intentions on expiring someone, right? On unaliving somebody, he still decided to go with me. He said, you know what, take me with you. Not thinking that you're voluntarily being an accomplice. And so we get there and I text the manager, and the manager was young. The manager was probably like 25 himself. And I was 19. So it's just a lot of aggression. And, you know, I'm not a gangster by any stance, right? I'm not. But one thing I tell you is I am about that action. Like I don't go around looking for trouble, but I'm not the type to back down, right? And also, I'm also not stupid. If I see 20 people in front of me, I'm not going to try to take you on unless I have to, right? I'm not going to, you know, go looking for trouble. But if it's a situation and I'm confident I can handle it, I will handle it. So long story short, we get there. I'm texting the guy. I'm like, where you at? I'm holding a bag. I'm psyching myself up. I have it in my hand. I'm like really afraid to hold the trigger because I know that, you know, it doesn't take a lot of force to, you know, to let it off. And the guy, long story short, he never showed up. But I had all the intentions on unaliving that man. Like and when I think about it and I go back to think about it, I think, man, like I had no other goal in mind. And the reason was he threatened my family. And at 19, I'm thinking, and don't get me wrong, previously I had a history of myself of just being in the streets and doing a lot of wild stuff. And so I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm gonna handle it. And you know what? That wasn't even the end of the story. I figured that he wasn't gonna come. So I'm like, because we waited in the parking lot for an hour, and I'm so dumb. I could have got set up. I didn't exactly tell him where I was at, but that was just it. Just wasn't smart what I did. And that goes to show a stupid type of male aggression that some people shouldn't like. But some women do like that. But some women, they try to condemn male aggression. If you're going to condemn any type of male aggression, that's the type of male aggression that you should condemn. The blatant stupidity, the blatant just craziness. And you know what's so crazy? When you're in possession of that kind of stuff, and having that on me, I was just crazy because after that, when we were leaving, I was just so like, I swear, it was like I had an afrit. It's like I had a shaitan in my ears, like I had a demon in my ear whispering. I was like almost looking for trouble. And I remember we're driving and these guys were passing in front of this car and they were passing mad slow. And I beat my horn. I'm like, hurry up. And then the guys tried to get a little smart. And me, I'm already in this mode. I'm like, I rolled down. I was like, what? What the, you just say? And I'm like, yeah, pussy. I was just going off. Like and mind you, when I was 19 and even younger, I was a totally different person. Totally different person. Like on demon time for real, for real. Like you wouldn't even think night and day, night and day. But it was just, and then my friend was just like, you don't want these problems, bro. Like you just, you want your life to continue, just go along. Cause I was I was in that mode and I wasn't even thinking. So, and then the guys went along, but this is the type of male aggression that's not good, right? This is the type of male aggression that women shouldn't want. This is the type of male aggression that is blatant stupidity. But what we see today, we see a lot of women that will condemn men for being men. We see a lot of women that will condemn men for having masculinity. We see a lot of women that will condemn men for displaying masculinity. But then go on to say that men are not men, right? Men are not men. And then women will say, oh, well, oh, that's toxic masculinity that you don't cry. Oh, it's toxic masculinity that you don't do this. Oh, it's toxic masculinity that you're so aggressive. Fighting is so aggressive. There are moms that won't teach their children how to defend themselves because they think that toxic masculinity is such a thing. But then go on to say that all the real men are gone. There's no real men nowadays. All the real men are missing, right? All the real men are non-existent. All the real men, they don't exist anymore. And these are the type of things that we are seeing. And it makes you wonder, why do women want men that are feminine? And here's another point. And another good point is, if you have a man that will paint his nails, right? So you have some men that will paint their nails. And for the men that will paint their nails, men will, and if a man says, oh hell no, I'm not doing none of that weird shit. I'm not painting my nails. I would never paint my nails. That's mad weird. I would never do that. But then you'll have some women that would be like, oh, you're homophobic. What's wrong with painting your nails? What's wrong with having nail polish? What's wrong with what's wrong with that? Drake does it. and the crazy part is that women are slowly being conditioned to accept these things, but then they want to complain about men being feminine, men not being real men, but you don't condemn men who paint their nails. Is that not something that's feminine? Men who wear purses, straight up purses. Men that wear dresses. right? We see these kind of things. And this is not hate speech because you can do whatever you want. That's fine. If you want to wear a dress, that's perfectly okay. If you want to wear, if you want to paint your nails, if you want to wear high heels, if you want to wear dresses, if you want to carry purses, that's perfectly fine. Some people may confuse you for being a transgender, but hey, I guess that doesn't matter nowadays. But the issue comes in when women will say that, oh, you're being a certain way, you have some type of phobia, you're a bigot, you're a misogynist because I don't want to paint my nails because I think that men should learn how to defend themselves. I think men should do combat sports. I think that men should learn how to defend themselves and learn how to defend their family. Men should fend for their family. But when you spew this type of rhetoric, you're misogynistic, right? I know women that are in love with Drake and they still go to support him and see him, even though he paints his nails. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stop listening to his music. I don't agree with him painting his nails. And you painting your nails doesn't necessarily mean that you just automatically like boys or like the same sex, right? But it's definitely something that is a little feminine. I know like rock stars used to do it. You have a lot of famous people that do it. I'm not painting my nails. I'm not carrying purses. I'm not wearing dresses. Yeah, like Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, right? He had like a deal with Louis Vuitton and he was wearing dresses and literally wearing women's clothing. But women are okay with this because they support it. Oh, love is love. Whatever you do, it's okay. Okay, well, don't complain about men being feminine. Don't complain about men, and you know what's so funny? Some women are some of the biggest homophobes sometimes, right? They're quick to call a guy a name. They're quick to call a guy gay. They won't date these kind of men. Most women won't. And if a woman's honest, she'll tell you straight up, I don't want to date a man that is a homosexual. I don't want to date a man that's gay or even bisexual. I have not personally, maybe online, but I have not personally, me personally, have never met a woman in my 30 years of being on this earth. I have never met a woman that said that she will openly date somebody who has been with men in the bed. Right? And yeah, women are the biggest supporters of the LGBTQ, even if they're not actively involved in it. They are the biggest supporters. They are their biggest supporters. And my question is, it's like, how do you go against this? How do you say that you don't want feminine men, but you're so in support of it? And that's the big question. Why do women love feminine men? Because you're supporting it. You're telling people that it's not okay. You're telling people that it is okay, right? It's okay to paint your nails. It's okay for you not to do sports, aggressive sports. You don't want to be violent. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to parade around like a female, right? It's okay to do all of these things. But then when you have the result of men being super feminine, you have men painting their nails like it's okay. You have men, wearing dresses, men acting feminine, men expressing themselves, men with no type of structure, men that are soft. And I think these are a lot of contributing factors. Look at divorce rates. They're the highest they ever been. Perhaps that is a contributing factor. Obviously, that's not the sole reason. Perhaps it's a contributing factor. Perhaps. And the funny thing is, people will sit here and say that, oh, where all the real men are gone. Men are not capable of love. Men don't do this. Men are toxic masculinity. All men ain't shit. But these are the type of men that you're helping being introduced into society. Imagine a little boy growing up who sees nothing wrong with him wearing dresses. A little boy growing up that sees nothing wrong with him painting his nails, right? And this is why America has a mental health crisis, a straight up mental health crisis. I don't want to say all the things now because, I'm on TikTok, but we can imagine all the things that contribute to a mental health crisis. Things like gender dysphoria, right? Things like people saying it's okay for them to be unhealthy. No body shaming. If you body shame, you're a horrible person. Even though it's better for you to be healthy, even though it's better for you to be fit and be in shape, but I should love you just as much if you are considered to be obese, right? Right. And I'm not considered gay if I date a transgender woman. It doesn't matter what their biology is, right? But then we wonder why women are complaining about men being feminine and all this stuff about men being feminine. It's horrific. It's horrific. You're shamed for everything. You're shamed if you have an opinion. You're shamed if you disagree. You're shamed if you have your own beliefs. Women won't condemn a man for painting his nails, for wearing dresses, for having purses, but then they'll say, well, oh, if you don't agree with that, that's toxic masculinity. But we're all the real men. You done turned them into girls. You done turned them into girls. What do you mean we're all the real men? They're in Victoria's Secret. Buying lingerie to match with you. Come on, man. Like, did you guys see that, what was it, the Fast 10 movie? What's that guy's name? The guy who played as Aquaman. A guy that's seen as a big dude, pause, and he's seen as somebody that's masculine, somebody who played as a superhero, and he's wearing nail polish in Fast 10 and acting super flamboyant. An even better example, Spider-Man. I grew up watching Spider-Man. Tom Holland. You know what happened with Tom Holland? He does a scene with a guy in some club. First, he's dancing with him. He has makeup on and his hair out. He's acting as a homosexual man. And then he has a scene where he gets thrashed by some random black dude in the club, right? Like Lena the Plug, like Adam 22's wife. And this is somebody who played as Spider-Man. Do you not understand how that's feminizing our superheroes? Obviously, it's a different movie. He's playing a different character. But then the man says, oh, somebody can make the connection. Oh, Spider-Man is a little, he's a little, maybe he has a little sugar in his tank. And the funny thing is, after that, Tom Holland comes out and makes a statement and says, I hate Hollywood. I do not like Hollywood. And then he says, I'm taking a year off from acting. Why is that, Tom Holland? Why does Spider-Man do a gay scene and then now he's taking a year off from acting and he despises Hollywood? And then his girlfriend does a scene where she gets a train ran on her. Come on. Come on. This shit is sick. This world is sick. Nobody condemns it. Nobody condemns it. You see, I don't know if you guys seen the video. Maybe I'll react to it if you guys want me to react to it on YouTube. What was it? It was Lena the Plug. I think it was Aiden Ross and it was Andrew Tate. They did a video. They were on like a conference call together. And this guy, Adam, he invited Andrew Tate to run a train on his wife. This is his wife. He's married to this woman. He is legitimately married to this woman and inviting other men to run a train on his wife. Like, if that's not the most craziest thing ever, I don't know what is. How is that not crazy? Yeah, and it's not like they need to do it for any financial gain. She's a millionaire and he's a millionaire. They're both rich already. Yeah, I'm sure they made a lot of money, but it's not like they needed it. I already gave my theories on it. But you see how Andrew Tate completely turned that shit down, right? I don't need to be having degenerate sex. I'm not going to put myself out there like that. Right? Setting the mature example. Like the guy Adam 22, and then he's just like, he's all on social media pimping his wife out. Guys asking for opportunities, and he's asking them, "Oh, what's your thing like? What's your size?" Asking crazy question like, "Hey, yo, pause. First of all, pause." He's straight pimping his wife. It's nuts. It's 1,000% nuts. Like, who does this shit? Who does this shit? Oh. Ugh. Who does this? 1,000% nuts. And somebody said on YouTube in the comments, they said women are the biggest advocates for the LGBTQ. They support anything, nuances and gender neutrality, right? A man can identify as a woman and a woman can identify as a man. And it doesn't make you gay if you wear nail polish. It doesn't make you gay if you wear dresses, right? It doesn't make you it doesn't make you gay if you wear nail polish. It doesn't make you gay if you decide to wear dresses or any of these things. But women are the same people complaining. They are the same people complaining. So the question is, why do women love feminine men? There seems to be an issue on TikTok. It says that I'm lagging. Hold on, let me try to fix this. All right. All right, we should be a little better now, connected to the Wi-Fi. But yeah, and this is just some of the craziness that's going on in society. Oh my God, my back is killing me. Anyway, so if you guys got any questions, which you can do now, if you disagree, if you agree, or if you guys want to come up and speak and ask any questions, I'm live on TikTok and I'm live on Instagram. So if you guys got any questions, if you guys want to disagree or tell me what you think about the topic, come on up, ask any questions, and I'll talk to you. Oh, my back is killing me, guys. Today I did some serious sparring and I fucking somehow threw my back out. Oh, this shit is like killing me. Holy fuck. Whew. I might want to restart the live. I think that on TikTok, I'm going to restart the live and then I'm going to come back up. Oh, I need a massage. It's like that for me in roofing. What do you mean? I don't understand. And guys, whenever you join the video, just give it a like. Like, come on, I gotta get my likes up, man. You guys don't like the video. Here, I'm gonna end the live on TikTok and I'm coming right back. I'm gonna rejoin. They my brand. All jokes aside, is really my brand. I gotta put my website right back up. I'm 17 and I do roofing. Like, for your business, or do you work for a company and you put roofs together? Oh, fuck. It feels so good when I take a deep breath. You got to be careful with doing roofing. You could hurt yourself and you don't have any insurance. You got to be careful with that, bro. That could get really dangerous. But working off the books, no taxes. That's the good thing. Sunflower. What's up, Sunflower? I restarted the live. Oh, my back is killing me something bad. At least you can get the experience. And then maybe one day you get like a actual roofing job where you can like actually work for a company and they'll give you a good salary. So this way you have the experience and you know what you're doing. And then what you can do is you be like, well, I worked for this job for X amount of years. Or then maybe you can learn the business and start your own roofing business. That too. Just make sure you keep your credit good. Keep your credit good. You could build you could build a good company and get business credit. So yeah, back to the topic. Why do these women love feminine men? Oh, my back is killing me. Oh, let's run up the likes. Run up the likes. Run it up, run it up, run it up. No. No way, Jose. Quick question. What's your question, bro? What is your question? Steam. Guys, if you're in the chat, run up the likes. Let's get it on and pop in. Ooh. I hear that G says, no clue. They seem to find a sense of comfort and reliability. LGBTQ people, even just gay men. I don't want no man I can bully. But then why do women support men that, do feminine things? Like a woman will be like, oh, well, if you think that is gay for you to wear nail polish, or you think it's gay for a man to dress feminine or act feminine, you're homophobe, transphobe, you're misogynistic. Oh, so are you accounting, Julie, are you accounting for all women? Because the comment right above you just said, I don't want no man I can bully. So who's we? Who's we're? Who are all the women that want feminine men? I don't find that to be true. So Julia says that all women want feminine men. We most definitely out here switching roles. I just want to understand. I need some clarity because Julia just said all men. Does she have? I wish she had enough followers. I would tell her to come up. Do you think there's something wrong with wanting a feminine man? Yeah, I'm not a woman. That's the question. You tell me. How about you come up? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm just asking the question. Why do women want feminine men? I'm just trying to understand. Let me know. I find it funny how nobody wants to come up and speak, though. I do believe women can be with men who exhibit men that have certain feminine qualities. Okay. Because they're secure in their masculinity. The mental health green flags make you mad. Oh wow. You're saying the women are secure in their mental health? I don't get yeah, I think you have to have 1,000 followers to come up. If you don't have 1,000 followers, you can't just come up and speak. Not hate, just turned off by them. Okay. And I think that's a lot of it. L want control. I want control. She said, I want, so that's why you like feminine men. You want to control your man. It's so many different things. I have women saying that they don't want a man that they can bully. One woman said all women love feminine men. Women is all inclusive. Some women like masculine men. Well, I want to know, why do women like feminine men? Until they need real protection. Exactly. Do you feel like that feminine man can protect you? That's a really good question. I can explain a feminine man. I would love somebody to come up and just answer this. They want to manipulate you and control you. Is that why they like feminine men? I really want to get down to the bottom of this. Oh, it just depends on the preference. Me personally, I'm kind of turned off by that. No hate though. Okay, I mean that's what I thought. Because they weak. Because they weak women, mostly lazy too. Wait, what? How they get lazy? Where did the lazy come in at? Why? What does them being lazy have to do? Yeah, I sound better in the comments. Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to come up so I can just be inquisitive and ask someone. The first person to come up with some heart to tell me why they like feminine men. This would be great. I see a lot of people real. The person that says real, please stop talking in the comments if you're not going to come up. You have enough followers to come up and you have a lot to say. If you're not going to come up and speak, don't speak in the comments. Like, I just want to understand. I just want a man who cares about their appearance. No, I agree with that. Caring about your parents is 100%. I think even if you get like your nails, because I need my nails filed, I wouldn't consider myself feminine at all. I think I'm actually rather aggressive. I'm not going to put nail polish, like maybe clear, but I'm not going to put colors on my nail. You're never going to see me with no pink or blue or any type of colored nail polish. I don't wear dresses, right? I'm super and I have to. I'm a fighter. I'm a professional fighter. So hand massages and because my knuckles look disgusting. Look at those things, right? So I have to get my feet done and all that crazy stuff. That's necessary. Your parents is necessary. But I want to know why women like feminine men. That's what I want to know. Like, do you feel protected with a man that's super feminine? I'm really waiting for somebody to come up. Yo, KB, what are your thoughts on tattoos? I don't have tattoos. I don't do tattoos. My body's a temple. You feel me? Wait, did you guys get tickets to the gun show? No, I don't do tattoos though. A man comfortable with being with himself. What does that have to do with a feminine man? I got my baby on my chest. Sorry, I'll stop talking. I'm not saying you have to stop talking. I'm just saying just come up and speak, but it's okay. You're not gonna scare your baby by giving your opinion. You have to. I think you have to have at least 1,000 followers. Ooh, I'll invite you up, Jen. Jen, you've been invited up. Let's hear what you got to say. This should be good.
Hi.
How you doing? Introduce yourself, where you're from, and tell me, why do women like feminine men?
I'm Jen. I'm from New York.
Okay, NYC in the house.
I don't know. I feel like it's just like personal preference, and like I don't know. For me, I kind of like a dude who's like kind of masculine, a little feminine, like a good combination. You know what I mean?
Oh, but hold on. Before we continue this conversation, Jen, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So you said you like a man that's feminine and masculine. Elaborate on what you mean, please.
Well, I can just like appreciate masculine traits, but I can also like appreciate feminine traits. I'm also bi, so it might have to do with that. But
Okay.
yeah,
What
like I don't know. I
feminine
just like
traits? What feminine traits do you like in your man?
yeah. I feel like like having like taking really good care of yourself, like having like a really long skincare routine, or
Right,
like
right,
getting your nails done, or like I just think that shit's cool, and
right,
and like
right.
like I really like when
Jen,
people take pride in their
let
appearance.
me interject for a second. I don't think that's feminine. I like to take care of myself. I like to um I have a face routine, I have a nighttime routine. Um I get my feet done sometime. It's been a while since I got my fingernails cleaned, and it's been a while since I've been to, get a mani pedi, right? I don't paint my nails, but I don't think that taking care of yourself, having cleanliness, basic, self care, just washing yourself and doing those basic things. I don't think that's feminine. So let's.
I would agree with you on that. I just feel like a lot of people would disagree and say that it is. Like I know like dudes like get shamed for like just getting a manicure, and it's like, dude.
No, I don't think that's feminine. I think somebody who does basic self care. I don't think that's feminine. But so, is there any other feminine qualities you like in your man? Like, would you mind if your man wore nail polish or lipstick or eyelashes or wore makeup?
Actually, no. Like personally, like if a dude just like paints their nails, like I
Mm,
think that's pretty cool. Like it's self expression. And
mm,
like I don't know if you wear like not like crazy makeup. That's like a little too much. But like maybe like if
mm,
you wear some eyeliner, that's cool.
mm. So have you dated a man that painted his nails and wore eyeliner before?
I actually have, yeah. Like one of my
Really?
exes was bi, so he did.
Mm. And you don't mind dating men that been with other men? That's okay with you?
Yeah, I don't really mind.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And when you had those relationships with those men who dated other men, um, what masculine traits about them did you like?
Um, just being like like protective, killing bugs. I
Wow,
don't know.
that's really masculine. Holy shit.
Um,
Killing bugs. God damn. That's really masculine. That's yeah, I get it. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And you
yeah,
said
like just like a like protective kind of vibe.
did they ever like fix your car? Did they ever change tires or anything like that? Did they do any like rough sports?
Like I've dated guys who've like were athletes and stuff, but not anyone who like knew shit about cars. That would
But
be cool though.
I'm referring to the ones that were bisexual.
Yeah.
They did sports. What sports did they do?
Well, the one I like mentioned, like he played basketball.
Mm, that's interesting. And he was openly bisexual.
He was a top.
What does that mean?
I was just responding to a comment.
Oh no, we're
But
having a conversation. Let's not do that.
okay.
What does a top mean? And let's be appropriate with our language.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to be inappropriate. You don't know what a top and a bottom
Uh,
is?
no, I'm sorry. I don't engage in these type of conversations. I'm a heterosexual man, so.
Honestly, just like Google it. I don't want to like get myself banned or let a
Uh,
kid hear that.
all right, let's find out what the fuck is. I'm not good with this terminology. Honestly, I'm afraid of googling this because I don't want.
It's not that. It's not that bad. It's like normal stuff.
This is normal stuff. It must not be all that normal if I don't know what it means.
Like LGBTQ community normal, I guess.
Well, I say I'm not a part of that community. Someone who prefers to be invert. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right, all right. Well, and you're comfortable with that? Do you know that? I forgot what was a CDC fact that I read. It said it was like 70% of 76% of people in the United States that have HIV or AIDS, that community comes from are either gay or bisexual men. Are you aware of that?
Well, I mean, I don't like to stigmatize and everything.
Oh no, I'm just saying, are you aware of that? Because not to, and I'm not like, I don't have any type of, and by the way, I just want to make one thing clear. But I want to make them one thing clear. I don't have any type of phobia of anything. I'm just saying, are you aware of that?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, I'd like trust my partner and like, if I was like not 100% trusting, like just like make sure they get tested.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's interesting. Let's try to get somebody else up here. And by the way, guys, that's the CDC. If you know what the CDC is, you should probably get out more. All right, let's get the next guest up. Next person that comes up, introduce yourself.
Have a good night.
All right, have a good night. Where you're from, and tell us, why do women like feminine men?
Hi. I guess you invited me on. I'm Zinashe. I'm a spoken word artist out of Houston. I'm also a content creator. I have a podcast.
Pretty dope.
Asked why do women want feminine men? The only reason I actually could think of that a woman would want a feminine man is that maybe possibly they feel that that man is supportive of women's rights in terms of feminism and has done research on how women have been repressed or suppressed, and therefore that man is, in a sense, an ally. And therefore, because he's, in a sense, going against the patriarchy himself, in terms of maybe doing some of the things that you mentioned, and possibly, like you talked about, wearing lip gloss or painting his nails,
right,
or maybe being a little more what some people might consider flamboyant, or wearing clothing that, like he might have a man purse, or he might wear a skirt. So he's already, in a sense, bucking the patriarchy and bucking the gender roles that the patriarchy has set for everybody, not just women.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you something. Hold on. Let me interject for a second. So,
sure.
So you believe that only feminine men can support women?
That's not what I said.
Well, what you just said, you think the only reason that you would think that a woman will want a feminine man if she thinks that he's an ally and supports feminism and is basically on their side. That is what you said.
I said that is the reason why some women. Now, I already told you that I don't want a feminine man.
No, I'm just repeating back what you said. I'm just regurgitating what you said.
What I said was, the women who desire this may feel that a man who is himself rejecting gender roles, rejecting the patriarchy by being feminine, is a greater ally than a man who is masculine and may, in a sense, to them, be providing lip service. I think that anyone, masculine, feminine, any man who wants to be an ally to women can be that.
So men that are masculine can't support, or men that is masculine can't be a feminist, or he can't be an ally to feminists.
I just said that any man who wants to be an ally to women can be one. If a very masculine man, the most masculine man on the planet, has done his research and says, I see where there are many things in our society that would be improved through feminism. So I am going to choose to be a feminist. He could choose to do that. Or he could even choose to not even label himself as a feminist and just want better treatment for everybody.
Right. I'm just a little confused because at first you said the only reason that you could think of, and then you gave why a woman would want a feminine man, is if he was basically, in fact, a feminist himself and was an ally. But basically, now you're saying that men in general can support women, and correct me if I'm wrong, but uh, you think that most likely a feminine man would want to ally with women, is what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You asked the question, why do women want feminine men?
No, no, listen, I'm just,
I
I'm just, I'm just trying to reiterate and make sure I got your point right.
No,
No,
let
I'm
me
not.
get my no. My point was telling you why a certain group of women
Mm,
might want a feminine man, because they feel comfortable, because his stance in himself presenting as feminine
mm,
makes them feel as if he is more of an ally because he has taken a stance against patriarchy.
mm.
I didn't say in the beginning anything about masculine men being allies or not.
I didn't say. I just repeated everything you said. I didn't say anything. I didn't. Did I misquote you at any point? Because I'm pretty sure I just regurgitated literally everything you said. I'm just trying to understand your point. I think you're getting a little defensive. I'm just saying because at first you did say the only reason why you can think, and then you kind of changed it a little bit. So I'm just trying to make your stance clear.
Let me say this again.
Yeah, let's one more time.
I am not a woman who likes feminine men. I feel
Mhm.
that the only reason that I could infer or draw a conclusion that a certain group of women would want a feminine man is that they see in his behavior that he has rejected the patriarchy and that he is taking on some of the things that you mentioned that are feminine traits,
Right.
and that makes them feel comfortable
Right.
that he is a true ally, that he is truly against patriarchy, truly against gender roles, truly against many of the things that have happened in the past. That is what I said.
Okay. And you and that's interesting. So my question to you is, for the women who would side with that, would you maybe think, or maybe it's your assumption that they wouldn't like a masculine man because a masculine man probably wouldn't be on the side of those, or maybe a masculine man is um, a part of the patriarchy, or is perhaps a misogynist or somehow?
Well, I think that there are some women who, for whatever reason, may fear some men that they feel come across as being misogynistic, and they may associate traits of misogyny with masculinity. I think that that is a mischaracterization of masculinity. I don't think masculinity and misogyny are synonymous at all. They are two separate things.
I think I might agree there. Yeah, I might. I do think so too. But why do you think that women conflate the two? Why do you think women conflate um, a man who has firm beliefs, a man who doesn't necessarily agree with painting his nails or wearing dresses, or somebody who does believe in gender roles? Why do you think that women conflate that with him being a misogynist or a bigot, or having beliefs that are quote unquote outdated? Why do you think they conflate the two?
Well, some gender roles can be repressive. If you think, for example, that a woman has to have a woman's job, like being a maid or maybe being a teacher, which were traditionally women's jobs, and she can't be in any position of authority, she can't have any job like a fire person, or a police person. If you have that kind of gender role, then that could be very misogynistic. If you have other ideas about gender roles, maybe those are not. So when we talk about gender roles can be, there are some that can be very harmful, and there are some that can be very helpful. There's a continuum. It is not one thing.
And that begs the question. And I did a podcast a while back on this very topic about gender roles, right? And when you talk about, and you made a reference to gender roles in reference to your occupation, and the jobs that are considered to be male jobs, right? Statistically, usually a lot more men do those jobs. Like if you look at truckers, I think maybe 2 or 3, I probably it's changed now because this was about 2 years ago. In 2021, it was like 2% of women are truckers, right? And that's one of the most important jobs in our country. Because if we didn't have the infrastructure, if we didn't have men driving food across the country, how would we survive? How would our food get to our supermarkets? For example, police officers. I think 86, I think it's nationwide, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And this is like anywhere from like 86 to 96, depending on the country, percentage of men are police officers, right? But then we look at, the ratio for men, for these people who do those type of jobs, and they're usually men. And even when you give the most egalitarian societies, like what is it? I think it's like Scandinavia, women aren't doing those kind of jobs that are considered to be, how do you say, who that doesn't really conform to their gender role. So it's like that part is really confusing when and I'm not really trying to contest you on it because I don't think you're contesting you, but just basically giving an opinion. But it's just really confusing how like people conflate the two. I just thought that was really interesting, and it's just really confusing sometimes.
Well, I mean, when you talk about traditionally male jobs, I've watched movies, like I'm sure other people have watched movies about women trying to move into those jobs. And I don't know, even though I feel like I'm a very strong woman, I don't know whether I could have gone through the hazing, gone through the doors being shut in my face, gone through the sexual harassment, gone through everything that people try to do that were generally men and some women, to say you have moved out of your assigned gender role, go back to your place. To me, it's very similar to if we see the civil rights movement for Blacks. It's not the same thing, okay? But when you saw, Ruby Bridges trying to integrate, you saw this is a child, and people are literally attacking her.
I remember watching that movie in grade school. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the Little Rock Nine, and you see the anger on people's faces, and they're talking about hanging children. And there are men that will say things that are like, women who are stepping out of this role or that role or saying this or that, they just deserve to, and what they're saying is extremely violent and extremely hateful. So when you're talking about women moving into these new jobs, in a sense, new to women, there were some sacrifices that those first women, that 2% or that 4% or that 10%, had to do that maybe everybody doesn't want to have to go through to get there. So we're not talking about people being welcomed with open arms. Oh, come on in. We want to see you. We want to have you. We're talking about them having to prove themselves in a way that men have never had to prove themselves, because the door was always open for men. Now, you may have had to prove yourself as you went up through the ranks, but you didn't have to prove that you deserved to just come through the door.
So basically what you're saying is you don't think that, the statistics of women not choosing quote unquote masculine or jobs that fit into the gender roles has anything to do with, you think it's because they are not, they have to prove themselves more. You're basically saying it has nothing to do with things that women are more inclined to. You're basically saying that it has nothing to do with that. There are other reasons other than them not being inclined towards doing certain jobs. So if a woman is not necessarily a firefighter or a police officer or somebody who goes into sewers, and somebody who does, these jobs that are considered disgusting, you think that it has nothing to do with them being inclined towards it. You think it's about opportunity and the head start that men had. That's basically what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, you mentioned a lot of different jobs. Now, there may be jobs that women don't want to do. I don't know any women personally who want to go into sewers. I don't. But I do know a lot of women that may have wanted to go into STEM fields. And every single time they tried, starting. Now, this is the research.
Okay? And you're talking about stem cell research?
No.
When you say STEM fields?
No, let me just say this. This is the research about things like STEM. which have been traditionally male. Okay.
Elaborate on STEM.
There's been research.
STEM meaning what?
STEM is
STEM field research?
Science, technology, engineering, and math jobs.
Okay. Cool. Gotcha.
Those have been traditionally male jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, the research says that starting in middle school, when you have teachers in STEM fields, and this is going all the way back until the 60s, you have teachers in STEM fields, when girls are raising their hands and they know the answer, the boys are picked first.
Right.
And even when the boys give the wrong answer, they are corrected in a very gentle way. You didn't get it quite right, Johnny. It was actually this. Whereas if the girl even knows the right answer, she's even told, wait, let's wait for Johnny. Let's see what Johnny wants to say.
Mm.
So what happens generally, and this, you can look up the research on your own, is that by the time these girls that have been shut down repeatedly get to graduate, a lot of times, even though they wanted to go into this, all they're thinking of is, nobody has ever supported me. They never want to hear what I said. They've never believed me. They've always tried to ridicule me or put me down. Do I really want to do this for the rest of my life and fight this battle for the rest of my life? And that's not in a dirty job. That's literally in a job that often is in a cubicle in air conditioning.
So basically, do you have any sources for that study, by the way, before I ask you a question on that?
I can't cite.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take your word for it.
I have 30 years in education, and we were. This was one of the things that they're trying to combat. And as they're doing teacher training, when they do their diversity training, which you hear a lot of people talk about, one of the things is this kind of gender bias.
So basically, you're saying that all the adversity when it comes to STEM, in reference to women, that all the adversity that they have to face, and basically teachers, even if it being women, they support this idea of men being the leading field and all of this. So basically saying all the adversity that they have to face is a contributing reason as to why maybe that these women didn't follow their dreams.
It's one reason.
But
and also,
but when but see, this is my issue. When you give that reason, and I'm not saying that it's a valid reason, do people, when they have dreams, not have to face adversity for anything, whether that be in any field, whether that be a singer, whether you be an artist, whether you be in STEM, whether you be doing brickwork, anything, you're going to have people that doubt you, and men, and that's something I would say men go through even more. Me being a professional fighter myself, right, and seeing how I've been doing this sport for so long, and it's really hard to get fights, right, at the level that I'm at. And I see that you do face some type of adversity, but that doesn't necessarily make me give up. I think that some mental fortitude is to be had, but when you look at that, I don't really think that that's a reason. That's not a fair reason to say that because women are facing a certain type of adversity that they aren't being successful in that field. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that it's not the most legitimate.
Yeah. You said you're a boxer, right?
Right.
When you walk into a gym, I would suspect that anyone in that gym is like, oh, here's a guy coming in here to work out. They go back to what they're doing. They may, give you a nod. There is no animosity for you just walking into the space. When a woman, and I can say this because years ago, I used to walk into gyms where it was mostly male. And when I was in college, I was actually training to be a fitness, one of those people who did fitness, competitions. I never got there, but I was training for it. I remember distinctly walking into rooms and the animosity coming off the men was like they wanted me to leave. They did not want me to be there. They had no desire for me to. It was almost like they felt like I was sullying their space. This was their man cave, and how dare I walk in here with my ovaries and sully it.
She
Because
said
now they weren't
ovaries.
going
That's
to be
crazy.
able to be men because I have just brought my ovaries into this male space and it is now defiled. And they may even have to find another gym because this one isn't safe for men anymore.
I'm not gonna lie, and I want to be as fair as possible. That sounds extremely anecdotal. I think I'm not sure. Don't take offense. I'm not sure how old you are, but things are a little different. And when for a man, it's different, especially when you're talking about a boxing gym. When you walk into a boxing gym, it's not exactly welcoming, but there's no adversity. There is tension though, because you have to understand a man walking into a boxing gym, you're talking competition, right? You're talking, people are sizing you up. People are looking at you like, chopped liver. Let's see what the new guy's about. Let's see what he's got. I'm looking at him like, oh, let's see what he's about. Let's size him up. So for a man walking to a boxing gym, totally different story for somebody walking into a fitness gym. And I would say that for women walking to a boxing gym, it's not that at all. Woman walking to a boxing gym is like, oh, she probably just wants to get fit. She probably is serious about her fitness. Nobody sees a woman walk into a boxing gym and says, oh, this woman's coming into our space. No, because I go to gym and there are female fighters. The only the last, I think, American to win 2 gold medals is Clarissa Shields. She's a female professional boxer, and she's also undisputed, which is an accomplishment twice or 3 times, I think, which is an accomplishment that no man has accomplished. Now, obviously, male sports are on a different level than it are for women, but she's accomplished things that no other American fighter, let alone man, has accomplished, right? At least not yet. But I don't think that that's the same. And even me, when I'm in the fitness gym, I don't necessarily look at women and say, look at her with her over. not to make fun of you, but that's what you said. Hold on. Let me. But I'm not to make fun of you. Listen, not to make fun of you, but I don't look at women and say, look at her with her fucking ovaries and tight pants walking into my space. I promise you, I never think that. And I think when I was younger, when I was like in my 20s, I would look at women and say, damn, she looks good. Now that I'm a lot older and I'm 30 now, I don't look at, I mind my business. I focus. I try not to, especially if they have a camera out. I don't even look. So I think that.
Well, let me say something real quick before we get off this topic, because you may want to go to something else. I have had male friends most of my life.
Right.
And I've even had my male friends say, oh, you're going to the gym? Oh, wait, let me come with you, because their fear, and this is men that are my friends saying, their fear is that some dude is going to think that, because I'm in this male-dominated space, that I'm easy, or I don't deserve the kind of respect that a woman would garner in some other space. And they almost want to come in behind me as almost like look, she ain't by herself. She got a friend. I'm her friend. And, if you mess with her, you're going to have to deal with me. And every man, now I am older. I'm 52. So when I was going to gyms, I was 25. All right. But in that space, there were many of my friends that would be like, don't go by yourself. Do not go by yourself, because let me come with you. You know what I'm saying? And they were very nervous about me walking into those spaces, because they thought some men would try to do something to me for being there, or try to attack me in some kind of way. And they were very, very nervous about it. And, it was something that I actually didn't think about when I was going in there, because I was just going in there to work out. And,
right.
But the guys were like, where are you going? It was almost like I told them I was going to walk down a dark street in the middle of the night, in hooker heels or something. Literally they thought I was going to be attacked, So all I'm trying to say is, you as a man may not understand, or may not have ever seen, the level of animosity that some men can have towards women, who step into a certain space that men feel a woman shouldn't be in. I've seen it, I've felt it, and I'm not the only one. And when you say anecdotal, I'm telling you my personal experience. But this is the kind of thing that women talk about when we talk about stepping into certain spaces or trying certain things.
You know that,
and when women, you know, I don't know if you've ever watched some of these TV shows where there's women talking about what it was like to be the first police officer or the first fire, whatever, or the first, and they had these, you know, talks about how bad it was, how they had to go home crying every day, how, and I'm not saying that everybody faces adversity. Everybody does. But there is a different level of hazing when somebody feels like because of your gender, they want to break you. And that's what a lot of these men who feel this way, they don't want you to leave. They want to break your spirit to where you'll never dare to step out of line again.
Oh my God.
They literally want to,
I said, oh my God, that sounds a bit extreme. And you know what? I'm really trying to be fair with your stance, and I don't want to discredit anything you're saying. And I think that the thing you said about the gym, I think that's a generational difference, right? I think you're around my mom's age. So when you talk about men being concerned and, oh, let me go to the gym with her, I think nowadays men only do that if they actually have a crush on this girl. I don't think most men are saying, oh, I don't want her to go to the gym by herself because, you know, she's this, she's that. And I think that the type of independence that's pushed on women nowadays, it's so far gone from maybe which it was, you know, when you were in your 20s. But I can promise you, men aren't saying, "Oh, well, maybe men that have that type of quality." But I feel like that's something fewer than many. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I know a lot of women can't say, "Oh, none of my male friends don't want me to go to the gym because they're afraid that I'm going to be undressed with eyes, and or I'm going to be like, you know, subjugated to some type of harassment or subjugated to some type of someone trying to break me." And I'm not saying that that doesn't exist. I feel like that's very extreme. And even I would say I'm somebody who's a little more on the traditional side. And that's only because I feel like I have a level of religiosity that I have a reference for morals. I think other than that, I probably wouldn't be so traditional. But I feel like when you say women, they men want to break women and kill their confidence. And I feel like that's so extreme. And like when they walk into certain fields, you know, and I feel like our world has changed so much. When you look at somebody like Leah Thomas, right? Somebody who's like, you know, who's trans and they compete in women's sports. And then when you say something like that, I can understand maybe like that. But then if you say that, then you're considered maybe a bigot or somebody who's not you know, that's not with the times. But I feel like what you're saying is very like, can you give me an example where a woman comes into a male space and they say, I want to break you so you never come back? Because, and when you're saying it, I'm trying to wrap my head around, pause, a situation where this is happening or something that's likely. But I can't make any analogies in my head. I can't find any situation that's analogous to what you're saying. And that's why I'm asking you, can you give me a situation where that's happening besides the gym? Because with the gym, I'm not seeing it. My connection is maybe bad. Am I paused? Being masculine is better long term in a relationship. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me on YouTube? I think the live paused. Independence isn't pushed on us. We're choosing it. That's funny. She said she's lying about what she said. Oh man, what happened? Can you guys see me or not? Damn, that shit just ended. What's going on with the Wi-Fi? Why should it keep disconnecting? So I just shared it. I don't know. Oh, I know my back is killing me though. I don't know what's going on. Fucking my connection is fucking trash. Anyway, guys, my back is killing me. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure you support. Make sure you subscribe. And a lot of people that don't like and don't subscribe, there's no reason why I'm on the video and it's getting like 2-3 likes. Seems like the live cut out. And by the way, guys, add me on Instagram, The Real Fisherman KB. Add me, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm going to be putting out more video content because I think that's what you guys need. This was an interesting little video. It's a little long one, but good podcast. And just show your support. You guys can donate. Make sure you get the ebook. Volume 2 to Make Her Obsessed is on Patreon video form. We're starting with that. We're going to do more videos. And then I'm going to put it into book form. But download Volume 1. It's only like $10. And just make sure you guys subscribe and follow me. Subscribe to Patreon. There'll be more exclusive content on there too. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. Thank you for joining. I'll be back tomorrow. Consistency is the key. Ugh.